Hi guys, welcome back to Drink. Two notes on the episode today. First of all, I apologize for my voice. It hasn't recovered from the holiday, so I hope it gets better soon, but you're just gonna have to deal with it. And then the other thing that we're gonna have to deal with is noise from contractors that are around my house. There's some work being done near our set, and if we hear whispery voices, we're gonna have to ignore it because I don't want them to stop doing what they're doing. So today, I'm going to teach you guys how to make a Penicillin cocktail, which is a modern classic. What is a modern classic, you ask? I would define a modern classic as any cocktail that was created from the 1980s to the present, and by bartenders who became very important bartenders that were influenced by the bartenders of the 1800s and all of the classic cocktails that I've been teaching you up until now. Today we're going to make a Penicillin cocktail, which I thought was fitting because I'm kind of sick. And it was created by Sam Ross in 2005 at the legendary bar Milk and Honey. If you do not know what Milk and Honey is, I highly, highly recommend that you read a book called A Proper Drink by Robert Simonson. And that's kind of the history of the modern cocktail movement. I think you'll really like it. And I promise you that I'll put a link to it on Amazon or something in the show notes beneath this cocktail. Not this cocktail, beneath this video. So let's get into it. What we're gonna use for our cocktail today is fresh lemon juice, honey syrup, which if you've watched any of the other episodes where we utilize honey syrup, you know is a 3-to-1 honey to hot water ratio when you make it. And then ginger syrup, which is also a 3-to-1 ratio the way that I make it. At some point, we will make some tutorials on how to make these syrups. They should be fresh made if you wanna make like a really great cocktail. The other note on the cocktail is I'm using this graduated jigger today. And usually, if you don't make these cocktails a lot, there is a jigger made by OXO, which actually has a 3/8 measure on it, and I would impress you to go get that. I'll put a link to that one as well, because then you can have an exacting measure. And as I've said many times before, the quality of these cocktails and just making them great really, really is about technique and putting them together, kind of how you do it, and then also on being exact with your measurements. Okay, cool. So we're gonna get into it. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna do a split 3/4, which would be 3/8 and 3/8. So it'd be I'm gonna move this because it's kind of in the way. So it's gonna be 3/8 ginger syrup, and then 3/8 honey syrup. And you just wanna fill that up to the 3/4 line, okay? Then we're gonna do a full 3/4 of lemon juice. And 2 ounces of blended Scotch. Now I like to use the famous Grouse because it's a little bit sweeter in character. There are other blended Scotches that you could use like Banknote. You can use your own discretion, but famous Grouse is pretty good. So I would say use that. And that's it. Then we're gonna shake it with some ice, and I don't have a scoop, so I'm just going to kind of grab the ice and put it in. You're gonna need 2 different types of ice for this cocktail because we are going to use a block of ice to serve it, but we are gonna use shaking ice to shake it. And we're gonna lock our tin. And we're gonna shake. Between 20 and 30 seconds is good enough for this cocktail. Now, usually, and you're gonna hear me say this a lot, I would not pour a cocktail over ice because I like to really control the dilution. But when you're using really high quality ice like this, it is okay to pour your drink over it. That being said, I like to double strain, but for this cocktail, because we're using such good ice, I don't think I really need to. I can just do this, which is called closing the gate on it, and pour it over. And then the last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take a little bit of this Lafroig, which is very peaty, very kind of medicinal in flavor, very smoky. And we're just gonna do, that's a little bit too much, hold on. Bam. Usually I would use an atomizer, but I don't have one right now, so we're just gonna do a little 1/4 ounce float on top. And there you have it. The penicillin cocktail.